Hi guys, good day to everyone. We will now be discussing the next part of our research manuscript, which is yung tinatawag natin na data analysis section. Take note, data analysis section is one of the important parts of our research manuscript. Isa to sa palaging binibigyang pansin ng mga panelists during defense time. And we as researchers, it is very important for us na ma-explain natin ng maayos sa ating mga panelists at first yung inilagay natin na data analysis sa paper natin. And to do so, it is very important na even though nasa proposal defense pa lang tayo or nasa proposal stage pa lang tayo ng paper natin, we are already seeking advice sa iba pang mga professionals na pwede nating makasama in doing our research manuscript. For example, if your research paper is quantitative, hanap na kayo ng mga statisticians or hanap na kayo ng isang statistician. Kung qualitative, humanap na kayo ng mga language editor. Kasi yung information na ibibigay ng mga professionals na ito, yun ang ilalagay ninyo sa data analysis part ng paper ninyo. And if you do not have knowledge kung ano-ano yung mga pwedeng ilagay dahil nga ayaw pa ninyong humanap or hindi pa kayo purely decided sa methodology na gagamitin ninyo, I have here a sample, no, ng mga statistical analysis and data analysis na pwede ninyong gamitin sa paper ninyo. But disclaimer lamang, I will not be discussing it one by one. I will just be presenting to you the listings kasi hindi naman ako professional when it comes to mathematics. No, I am not, this is not my line of expertise. Ganun din sa qualitative analysis, hindi din yun yung line of expertise ko. I just have the knowledge in doing so, but hindi ito yung aking line of expertise once again. Okay? So these are the possible statistical analysis na pwede ninyong gamitin sa paper ninyo. Commonly, ito yung ginagamit, no, kapag statistical analysis. Majority of the research paper na matatagpuan natin sa ating library or even sa Google ay gumagamit ng descriptive analysis. Kadalasan ang inilalagay nila dyan is yung mean o di kaya naman yung frequency distribution ng kanilang data. Minsan meron din gumagamit ng standard deviation. Aside from that, we also have ito, yung inferential statistics. Lagi din itong ginagamit ng mga researchers natin, yung t-tests, yung ANOVA, saka yung chi-square test. I do not know if I pronounce it correctly, but lagi ko siyang pinopronounce as chi-square tests. Okay? Then aside from that, we also have regression analysis, may linear, may multiple, and may logistic regression. We also have non-parametric tests, no? We also have correlational analysis. Ito, lagi din itong ginagamit ng mga researchers natin, yung Pearson correlation, saka yung Spearman rank correlation. Okay? But aside from that, we also have yung factor analysis, the exploratory, and the confirmatory factor analysis. So these are some of the statistical analysis na pwede ninyong gamitin sa paper po ninyo. Okay? And then for the qualitative naman, marami din tayong pwedeng gamitin. Commonly used na ginagamit sa qualitative is yung thematic analysis as well as yung cross-case analysis. Then meron din ilang gumagamit ng narrative analysis, meron din gumagamit ng phenomenological analysis, content analysis, and discourse analysis. These six are commonly used qualitative analysis sa mga research paper natin. Okay? But aside from that, we still have framework analysis, the case study analysis, the constant comparative analysis, visual analysis, kung mga documentation, photographs, pictures, videos, ang ating ina-analyze, ethnographic research, napakahirap gawin ito, a framework method, and we also have here yung ating tinatawag na action analysis, reflexive thematic analysis, isa sa madugong thematic analysis na pwede ninyong gamitin, conversation analysis, and the grounded theory, isa din sa pinakamahirap na qualitative analysis na pwedeng i-adapt sa ating mga research paper. Okay? So these are the commonly used qualitative analysis na pwede ninyong i-adapt sa paper ninyo. And meron namang mga explanation kung kailan sila ginagamit at kung paano sila ginagamit. Okay po? And to show you a concrete sample of data analysis, let's have this sample number 1. Technically, hindi na natin inia-apply sa data analysis natin yung pag-i-insert ng mga formula. Before kasi during our college time, meron pang mga naka-insert na formula or mga table ng formula doon sa ating data analysis part. Ngayon sa panibagong format natin, hindi na natin sila inilalagay. Kasi meron naman tayong references or I mean meron naman tayong appendices kung saan pwede natin ilagay doon yung ating mga formula and yung mga computation na ginamit natin sa paper natin. So ngayon, plainly, narrative na lang talaga ang inilalagay natin sa ating data analysis section. Okay? So sample, to ensure accurate interpretation of the data, several statistical tools and techniques were applied. Gumamit sila ng frequency count and percentage for the demographic profile of the respondents, presenting the age and the grade level. Para naman sa student engagement with online learning, and then overall satisfactions, perception during pandemic, they used weighted mean. So para to sa kanilang Likert scale. As well as gumamit din sila ng Cronbach Alpha para sa kanilang reliability test during their pre-testing ng kanilang survey. And then for the qualitative naman, ang ginamit nilang qualitative analysis ay thematic coding for the purpose of identifying recurring themes from the open-ended responses of our participants. By using these approaches, they will be able to have a deeper insights regarding the experiences of the students sa kanilang online classes. So that's it. Ganyan lang kasimple yung data analysis. Pero kahit ganyan lang yung kasimple, napakadugo niyang i-defend during defense time. Okay, kaya napakahalaga na meron tayong ibang mga advice na natitingin. Let's have sample number 2. Sample number 2 natin, medyo mahaba at mas detailed ito. Gumamit daw sila ng descriptive statistics such as frequency count and percentage for the demographic profile of the respondents, presenting the age, the gender, the purchase frequency. Okay? Then after that, para naman sa 5-point Likert scale na ginamit nila, ang ginamit nilang statistical analysis ay mean and standard deviation. This will analyze the satisfaction level concerning the critical aspects such as product quality, delivery time, and customer services. Yun din ang ginamit nila, means and standard deviation din ang ginamit para sa engagement naman with marketing strategies. Okay? Para naman sa kanilang qualitative analysis, which they analyze open-ended feedback from their participants, gumamit sila ng thematic analysis for the purpose of identifying recurring themes and patterns coming from the customer's comments. Okay po, so that's sample number 2. For sample number 3 natin, this is sample number 3. Technically, it is a single methodology, qualitative lang sila. Gumamit sila ng semi-structured interview in gathering the needed data. And then this semi-structured interview is composed of demographic information, essential details regarding the year of experiences, employment sector, and specific software being used, their experiences. So, para daw ma-analyze yung challenges and opportunities and even the job satisfaction of our participants as well as the future implications nito, they utilized thematic analysis. Okay? They utilize thematic analysis for the purpose of analyzing participants' interaction with the software, challenges, katulad ng na-mention ko kanina, and perceived benefits na ang mga tools na yun. Okay? And then, that's it. Ginawa nila yung interview through person and video conferencing. So, maliwanag naman that thematic analysis is the one being utilized in analyzing the data they gathered coming from their participants. So this is how we present our data analysis section of our manuscript. So I hope and I pray that you will be able to compose and create a sound and good, correct data analysis of your research manuscript. So thank you so much for listening. God bless and bye-bye.